Today, guys, Ashley Sanders is up from a young nonprofit warrior to an up-and-coming badass entrepreneur. Hey guys, I'm really excited today. I'm bringing you Miss Ashley Sanders. Really quick, here's her bio. I think it's going to be a fun conversation. She seems to be pretty down to earth like I am. So sit back, enjoy the ride, and let's have a little fun. So, Ashley is a 25-year-old just badass, has done a lot of strange things in her life. She's worked in media, she's worked in nonprofits, and now she's building a 24/7 entrepreneurial streaming network. I'm really curious to understand how she came up with this idea. So, Ashley, thanks for keeping the bio short and sweet. Let's rock and roll. Tell me your story.
All right, man. So I was born, picture it, New Jersey, 1992. Coldest day of the year. My mom didn't know. She was in labor for 7 days. She didn't know she was going to give birth to a legend. And so what happened was, she pushed and pushed, and out came this, 5-pound, 7-ounce baby who didn't cry. And from there, I started walking and talking. I developed tons and tons of irrational fears. And then I went to school like most kids do. I graduated. I tried college. It didn't really work for me. It wasn't exactly in my plans. So then I went to broadcasting school, and that actually worked really well for me. And I worked in radio. Throughout high school, I volunteered a lot. And then after high school, I was volunteering also. And so then we moved off to another nonprofit of our own. I got to be vice president of that for 6 years now. From there, it's just, I started doing video marketing online. I got a couple clients and I was doing okay. And then I realized a lot of people have no money, but everybody somehow wants to start a business. And you can be in a million groups, and there's always the question, what's the hardest part about starting business? And every answer without a doubt is always money. So I was like, fuck it. I know a couple people, and I was one of those people who had no money and was like, I gotta start somewhere. And so then out came the idea for Who's This Network, and it's just people who have built businesses on $0 and teaching people how to build businesses on $0 because money is not an excuse to not go out and do some shit.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I love it. It sounds like you've been doing some kind of cool and crazy things with your journey, especially being only 25 years into the game. Yeah. Well done. Let me backpedal a little bit. You're born in New Jersey. You don't have any sort of accent whatsoever, so good on you. Go to school, do the traditional route. You try and do the college thing, realize college is pretty much bullshit. Now you do this journey. You said you came up with all these phobias. Talk to me about these phobias.
Oh my gosh, I have so many phobias. And it's not like normal phobias like clowns and things. I'm scared of people in costumes. I have this incredible fear of STDs. It's terrible. To the point where my sexual first encounter, I went to Planned Parenthood 4 times and got tested because I was so scared. And I'm also deathly afraid of birds, birds are horrible. Bunnies are not cute. They're demonic.
I don't mean to laugh at your phobias, but bunnies, really.
They're not what you think they are. If you ever looked a bunny in the eye, they steal your soul. I'm also afraid of open spaces, like fields, and I'm afraid of small, tiny places, not even claustrophobia. I'm not afraid to be caught into them. I think they're creepy and there's something lurking in the shadows. I'm afraid of sewer grates. And, there's a couple others that are just not worth mentioning.
All right. So we've definitely clarified something. You're never allowed to come to my farm and hang out ever because I have open spaces. There's wild rabbits all over the place.
Oh,
birds all over the place. So I'm pretty sure you're just never gonna come anywhere near my farm. That's crazy.
Sounds great. Sounds great to me.
Sewer grates.
Yes.
So not a fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That's the weirdest show ever. Why would superheroes live in dirt and filth and rats and listen to rats and and eat old pizza?
Well, as I say, they're in all that shit and they're still eating pizza. So I mean, hey, I got a personal friend that actually was one of the actors in the original movies.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, So I don't think they ever actually crawled in any sewers during the making of it. But
No, I didn't.
through all this, you said you had a couple of nonprofits. Tell me about the nonprofits.
Well, I originally volunteered for one called Vetsville Ceasefire House, which brought homes to the veterans. And then I moved into a church where I did the kid ministry and everything, and I just got to like hang out with kids and make sure they weren't doing drugs behind a dumpster. And then we moved on to Feeding the Hungry. Feeding the Hungry was exactly what it says, is feeding people's mind, bodies, and spirits. And then I went from there and I was offered a position as vice president of a new nonprofit called Raphael's Heart, which is essentially the same thing that every nonprofit does, only I get to be vice president, so it's better.
All right, I like it. You get the title, and that makes it better. And Raphael's Heart, you know one of the turtles' names was Raphael, right?
I know, I'm well aware.
So you didn't have any phobias with him, did you?
No, he was fine.
All right, good. So what'd you guys do with Raphael's Heart? What was that?
When we first started, everybody had like full-time jobs. Like you can't, it's hard to even meet up. And so we started with like basically going under our bridges where the homeless people sleep and eat and everything, and feeding them and like watching a movie with them and doing all that stuff. Then we started offering rehab services for people. Turns out a lot of people don't want to go to rehab. So we took a break from that. And now it's pet rehoming. We're doing a little bit of that, some community outreach, but a lot of pet rehoming is happening. Just because in South Florida there are a lot of strays. And it's one thing, to have a stray cat here and there, but when your whole community basically turns into a litter box, you want to get rid of them and shit. So you kind of,
Wait, literally you want to get rid of the shit. Got it.
Yeah, like you literally need to get rid of the shit or you're going to have like maggots. Right. And, we're doing some of that too now.
I missed a step. How the hell did you go from Jersey to Florida?
Oh, we moved.
Obviously. Thank you, Dr. Obvious.
The only way I can explain it. I was 13.
All right. Well, did like mom travel for work or?
Oh yeah. She's a traveling doctor.
Oh, very cool.
Once we got older, it was like, you guys can stay because you're old enough where you can feed yourselves and stuff, and I'll keep working. But, kids need like a permanent home or whatever.
Gotcha.
We got that.
So now you're in Florida cleaning up beach-sized litter boxes.
Basically. I'm just a giant pooper scooper.
Can you put that on a business card for me? I feel
like it would be a great one. No one would ever throw that.
Right. Now everybody's going to cherish that forever, as I am officially the pooper scooper. Beautiful. Now you've done all these crazy things. What's been some of the cool things you've learned along this journey so far?
The best way to do it is to like constantly fail on your own and like make your own mistakes. Don't make other people's mistakes. Where I see a lot of people, they'll have the same exact journey as someone else, and that's why it's not working for them, because there's no them in the journey. It's just their mentor or their coach or, the person they bought the course from. And I've noticed that because I've only really been working in the online space for about 2 years. But I see a lot of, and I've said this to people, I see way more Gary Vee in you than I do you in you. And I think that's one of the biggest things ever is there's a you factor that needs to be there, and you are going to fail because you are human, but guess what? It's not abnormal. Failure isn't abnormal at all. And so if you just take the failure, you learn from it, and you dust yourself off, you'll come up with a better idea that'll be less failable.
No,
and then eventually hit the sweet spot.
I love that. If you just go in and you type in Gary Vee and like Google search, what pops up is all these people are like, hey, I do a podcast. It's like Gary Vee style, or, come check out my YouTube or Instagram. It's like Gary Vee style. I'm like, dude, just be you. Do your own thing.
Yeah.
It's like Gary Vee here. So interesting. That's big insight from somebody a quarter way through their overall journey. What's allowed you to be able to go out and jump into all these different adventures and try all these different things?
I don't have kids. I'm not married. I have nothing really tying me down to anything.
Are you a hippie, or are you just a free spirit?
I mean, I guess, kind of, no. I'm just not afraid to not do something. If I want to do it, I'm going to do it. I don't understand what would be holding me back. If I had kids and everything, and I had people to provide for, and all that stuff, yeah, of course I would have to be, more calculated in my risks, but I mean, I'm 25, you can always recover from 25.
So say that again, because I don't think a lot of people actually heard that.
Oh, I said you can always recover from 25. Like, I
Oh,
have
yeah.
nothing holding me back, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Tell me a little bit about this 24/7 entrepreneur streaming network. What's that about?
So essentially, it comes down to people who want to start businesses or need help starting their business and have no idea how to start. I've gathered like 5 or 6 experts together. It's a giant like give back project, really, is what it is. Because, you know, the entrepreneurial community, once you get involved with it, they're so much of a help to you. And I guess the biggest gift we can give back to people is we understand you want to start a business. We understand you have no money. And we have women who have children. We have men who have kids. We have single moms. You know, we have married people. We have people on all the spectrums. So we're kind of hitting every demographic with, okay, so you have kids and, you know, they're young. How do you manage them as well as your business? Or, okay, you're my age and you have nothing tying you down, but you're making every excuse in the book. Here's what you need to do. You know, we're hitting all the demographics for people who need to get out of the 9-to-5 workspace because they are just dying inside.
Interesting. And what made you decide that this is your mission, your challenge?
Because I got sick of reading about people being broke. I'm not a big fan of issues. And when people have issues, they're easy. You know, everybody has an issue, but just a recurring issue needs to be solved. It does. I mean, you can only read about someone's foot breaking so many times before you say, okay, you might want to use, you know, pads or something when you're skateboarding. And so it's kind of that kind of notion where, all right, I get it. Nobody has money. How do I do this?
Right.
There you go. Here's the answer. Jesus Christ.
I like it. So what are you guys going to be doing? Are you teaching workshops or are you funding? Are you, you know, holding their hand through the process? What are you doing?
Not much hand holding unless, you know, we have a teenager reach out because we have a guy, his name's Eddie, and he does courses and any teenager who takes his course gets it for free. So we're not really doing too much hand holding. We're doing more workshops. Funding, we're going to teach you how to get funding. We're not necessarily going to fund you. And then also I'm going to try and do some live events. It's going to be difficult, but that's my ultimate goal is to have a couple, you know, on location live events in certain central areas of America where people can come together and just ask questions without having to worry about, hey, this ticket costs $5,000. You know, like right. I'm not going to charge you $5,000 to sit with a 25-year-old and think about your business. It's not fair to you. You know what I mean?
Have you ever heard of an organization called 1 Million Cups?
Yeah.
So are you aligned with them at all?
Not at all. We kind of just started everything 4 weeks ago.
Okay.
And we are literally getting into production. We just got our banners today. And, we just got our banners and we are really just like everything is starting. We're just putting up our blog. We're just putting up everything. I haven't really been making too many connections because I'm in the technical mode right now.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I'm in the back end of it. And, once we get done with that and I can start creating the marketing plan and the ad sets and doing all that stuff, that's when we start reaching out to everybody. We also hired a PR person kind of to put our different hosts on different podcasts so that they can spread the word and spread the gospel and also give knowledge everywhere they go. So
I heard a couple of things. One, I want to talk a little bit more about 1 Million Cups and if that's something you guys are going to pursue as some sort of partnership with, could potentially really align with you guys. But I'm curious to hear a 25-year-old's opinion of 1 Million Cups. And two, we need to tell the audience who the hell they are. But then I also just heard that you kind of sort of hired a PR firm. How do you kind of sort of hire somebody?
Because it's not all full-blown PR.
Okay.
It's not like we're an NBC press circuit. It's podcasts, like interviews and Facebook groups. So when I say it's kind of sort of hire, I mean like it's kind of sort of PR. It's not the, you know, big wig fat cat, you're going to do the red carpet at the Met Gala, you're going to do this. No, it's like, you're going to go on this podcast, you're going to go on this podcast.
So it's the shit you need to be doing, not the BS that everybody tells you should be doing.
No. Why would I listen to anybody else when I know what the fuck I'm doing?
Right. I got it. So what are your thoughts on 1 Million Cups, at all? Let's go there.
I think it's really cool. I do, but I don't think it's necessarily, I don't know how to say this,
candidly?
I don't think it's necessarily modernized in a way. Does that make sense?
Well, you have to explain it to me. Let's do
Yeah.
this. Let's break down what 1 million cups is. What is 1 million cups?
It's an entrepreneurial, they caffeinate the entrepreneurial nation. I remember reading that about them. And so they kind of get people moving and shaking and doing all this stuff, and it's a free program, and it's great. But I don't think, and they're great people. Like, that's what I call, like a referral partner. Like, if you don't like the Who's This Network, that's where you go. But I think what I'm doing is a little different because it's simply just streaming. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to really do anything. You kind of just got to put it on with you. Does that make sense? Like, you just put it on and you can deal with it.
Based off that answer, I have to ask, have you actually ever been to a 1 million cups?
Never.
Okay, cool. That makes a lot of sense. So let me tell you a little bit about it. What it would be like to attend a meeting, and I've attended several just because I like the concept. I can't say it's the right answer for anybody, but I like the concept of it. So what they have is they have right now, they're over 100 clubs across the U.S. And what they've created is a place for entrepreneurs to come together physically, where you're tackling it with the streaming, which I absolutely love. What they do is each meeting, 2 different entrepreneurs get to take their companies to the front of the room. They get 6 minutes to tell the room about their company, what it is, what it does, and then they get 20 minutes of raw, honest feedback from the room. And that could be advice, could be suggestions, and it's meant to really help them take a different look, different things they're doing in their businesses. It's a real-time feedback for somebody if they're figuring out, how do they take their company to the next level. Based off of that, what are your thoughts?
It's great. And reading up, it just, you have to have 5 years in business to present, which is great. And it means you have to actually have a full business plan, a full thought. And I think it's actually a really, really great idea. And I'm not taking away from it because it's something that the community also needs. It's physical. It's where people need to be. If you need to learn, if you need to present, whatever you want to do, that's where you need to be, is physically. Some people aren't physical people. Some people are very weird, creepy, hermits. So that's why the Who's This Network.
Well, and some people are scared of sewer grates. I mean,
it's a common fear, I think. I would say it's common.
All right. I like it. What are you guys doing with this entrepreneur thing? I mean, I know it's streaming. Is there classes? Is there courses? Is there workshops?
We'll be doing classes. We'll have PDFs for everybody to download as they go through the videos. So there's going to be optional work. Everything's kind of optional. And that's kind of my educational course is optional. I learn things I want to learn, not necessarily have to weed through a bunch of stuff. So if it's like, one of our coaches is a high ticket sales client coach who built a 6-figure business with $0 and just quote unquote giving value. So it'll be things like, all right, so here's 3 ways to get people's attention. And you get your workbook out, you can do that. If you really want to request a one-on-one consultation, that's where I come in and you can book with me. And then essentially if you really want, because I'm not going to say there's no money getting started, but once you start making money, you have to start spending it. So then it's like, okay, maybe I want to take this course. Maybe I want to do this course. And we'll offer things like that. A couple live workshops, nothing too major that gives people FOMO. Everything will be recorded and put back. You don't have to be afraid of missing anything. You'll have a forum. So that should be fun.
Nice.
And heavily monitored, by the way. Very heavily monitored.
No, that's awesome. Who's this ideal for? Because, in my head, an entrepreneur just figures shit out, right? I mean, I think a lot of people have a misconception when they hear the word entrepreneur. I think it's been over dramatized that, everybody should do it. It's the cool thing right now. It's the fad so I think a real entrepreneur is somebody that they're not going to take time to stop and go through courses and workshops like that. I mean, they're just going to put their head down and figure shit out. So who's this really designed for? Are these the people that you're trying to teach they should go into entrepreneurism, to get out of the 9-to-5 hustle, or what?
These are people who are starting out and have no clue what the hell they want to do.
Okay.
So, and it happens. You say, I want to start a business, but I don't have the funds and I don't know what I want to do. We have a video animator like me. We have a speaker. We have, like I said, we have a coach. We have someone who does real estate. It's really going to be able to get you in depth. So let's say you say, I need to consume some content. I want to watch some TV. Well, you can watch us on TV and essentially learn something. And it's also for, like, I guess when I think about it in hindsight, for people like me who do trial and error. So when I started video stuff, I went through trial and error. I pulled up a YouTube video and it was like, bam, I'm going to do this step by step. So it's for people like that who learn by doing, as well as people who might need a refresher. It's not for everybody because not everybody's going to get into it. And I highly doubt everybody will get into it, but it's more for the people who I guess are on the I want to side of learning.
Interesting. I like it. So when does this launch?
Oh my goodness, my friend. You and me both need to figure that out. No, I'm just kidding. We're going for June 1st, and I'm telling you, if you want to get into media and building a network, listen to me right now. Do not set your launch date a month away. It doesn't work like that. There's PR, there's production, there's all kinds of things. There's banners, there's car stickers, there's everything you need to get to create, and the website by itself is just 4 weeks. But it's all those things that you need to do, and setting your launch date is just like having, I want to have a beautiful online launch party. So it's going to be spectacular. There will be champagne. I will probably mail each host a bottle of champagne, and we will all crack them together. And it's going to be that kind of deal because it's a network. You know what I mean? Like, so when I go for June 1st, there's going to be a party. And all the people who tried before and after, or before will be invited to the party.
How much money are you spending on that said party?
Me? $2 Chuck from Trader Joe's, a good internet connection.
All right, good. Cause,
maybe.
Cause it started to sound like you were going old school and like.
Absolutely not. What am I to fly all these people down here?
Well, that or, you're going to go buy a $10,000 desk to freaking.
Hell no, dude.
Right? I mean, I love the $2 Chuck. By the way, you should go YouTube the wine festival that $2 Chuck won. They beat out some of the top wines in the world in a badass competition.
It's delicious.
Well, and it's $2, right? I mean,
yeah, well, that's what makes it taste delicious.
Hell yeah. And most people, when they stacked up aside to really expensive shit, they had no idea that they were drinking $2 Chuck. They really thought they were drinking expensive wine.
That's amazing.
I love it. So, I mean, for you, you're 25 years old, you're figuring shit out, you're on a cool mission right now that I absolutely love. And I love the passion and the heart behind it. Where's this all leading to? As you're continuing on your journey and you're rocking and rolling, where's this all taken to you? What's the end game, if you will?
I'm gonna be like realistically, I would say the end game is me retiring, wealthy enough not to ever have to work again. But the big picture goal, if I were to have one that was, sort of hypothetically unrealistic, it would be that I'd have my own actual network that kind of takes away all the viewership from TV shows that I just hate, because I'm a big TV fan and I don't like the way TV's going. So this is kind of my way of sticking it to the man and being like, put some real shit on TV. And if I grow it big enough, that's what I see happening.
Interesting. Well, more power to you. Keep running after it. I love the tenacity. I love the veracity. Coming from a young girl that freaking comes from Jersey with no accent, living in Florida, being a big cat poop scooper and, just doing all kinds of fun shit, man. Keep it up, dude. How do you want people to get exposed to this whole thing as you continue to build it out? I mean, where are they going to find all this information at?
You'll probably find everything you need to know at who'sthis.network, depending on when this airs. If you go now, it's just a couple blog posts, but if this is airing in 2 months, you'll see everything. If you go to Who's This Network on Facebook, Who's This with an apostrophe S and a question mark after the S in the network, the second S. But if you go there, you'll find all of our content, like our Facebook stuff, which is just us having a little fun, some background stuff, some introductions. You can't really find me on it. You can find Who's This _talk show on Instagram, but it's really just a lot of memes. That's really all it is. So yeah, that's really where you can find us. Is Who's This Nut Network, I guess, is the succinct answer to give.
No, but about us, so for my listeners, just because I'm curious as well, where does a 25-year-old hang out on social media at these days?
You can find me on Facebook in general, like Ashley Sanders. And then I hang out in a couple groups. One of them is an entrepreneur group. It's called Millennial Entrepreneur Community. It's a huge group grown by a guy named Marnie Giske. And you can find me also at a sales group called Getting Clients Without Being Salesy. It's another.
Yep, good group. What is it? The Gorillas or some shit in there?
Gorilla Nation, man. That's where you can find me, in groups where I can find people who we can live our dreams out together and take all that bullshit off TV.
Nice.
Sticking it to man, dude.
That's badass, man. I really appreciate your time, Ashley. Thank you so much for jumping on here and doing this with me. So if you could give anybody, words of wisdom, that they can take with them on the rest of their journey, something that they can hold on to as they're going through the shit and trying to figure out life, what would you tell them?
It doesn't get any easier. It gets manageable.
Oh, shit. I actually like that. Damn, from a 25-year-old. I'm just going to bust your top.
Me, bro. You're listening. Quote me on that shit, dude. That's mine. Mine.
Yeah, you need to go freaking make a meme out of that and just put your headshot and all that shit with it and just own that. So awesome. Well, you keep rocking and keep being a badass, and if I can help you out in any way, you let me know, all right?
Of course, man. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Ashley, for being on here. What a fun episode, guys, with Ashley. Do me a favor, please comment, like, share, tell the world what you thought of this podcast.